Kerry, software and GST.
Yeah, for a while now, IRD have been trialling with several businesses the ability to actually file your GST return online via software, so straight area accounting software. In the past, you've had to print out your GST report, log into their system, then fill out their online return or a paper one, if you're still doing it the old-fashioned way, and then send it into IRD.
There's probably quite a few who do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, there is, but they're going to be forced off that soon. So now, from this month, in April, you can actually start sending your GST directly out of your accounting software to IRD. So you don't have to you won't make those mistakes of transposing figures or missing out a box or anything like that. The software's going to do it for you.
And they can read it.
Yeah, they can read it as well, which is a big thing because they do get rejected, quite a few of them. It's only for certain software though. So we know one big provider's already got theirs certified and are doing it, and some others are coming on board. So if it's something that you want to do and you're running software, then it pays to talk to your provider and just see if they've got that ability. It's got to be approved by IRD first before they can start doing it.
So you talk to your provider. I mean, if you're with
Telecom. Someone like MYOB or Cash Manager. We know Xero.
Oh, that sort of provider.
That sort of accounting software provider.
Yeah.
We know Xero have got that ability. They've got some approvals there to do it.
Do you guys as chartered accountants quietly massage people into finding the right provider for them?
Yeah, we if people come to us and say, look, we're looking at running some software, what do you recommend? We don't just sort of say, oh, you've got to run this. We actually find out what they're after. You've got to know what they want first because there's so much out there. If you don't give them the right product up front, then you can actually lead them down the wrong path.
I mean, to me, it's a very nebulous area because somebody comes to me and they say, I want to buy a computer. And they say, what do you want it to do? I've got no idea what it's going to do.
Yeah, so we'll go through and say, do you want budgets? Do you want production data? All sorts of sort of things that might be relevant to them. And then we just narrow it down to one or two, and then we make a recommendation, and it's really up to them to choose which one they want to go with.
So you go to somebody who actually knows what the hell they're talking about and saying, this is what we suggest, and then once you've done that, come and see us, and we'll show you how it works.
Yeah, because you don't want to do the off-the-shelf type option anymore. That's where people end up in too much of a mistake. So it's best to talk to your accountant and just say, hey, look, I'm thinking of doing it. What do you recommend? And they'll tell you what they think's best.
Because with all due respect, the salesman probably doesn't know as much as a chartered accountant.
They won't know anything about it at all. They'll just say it's just accounting software and that's what you want. Go for it.
Apparently on my computer, you can go something like, it's got to go zing, and it makes the picture on it look change. I can't work it out, and I don't really need it. But anyway, that's okay. So let's change the subject. So basically, we covered all that one. You just talk to your chartered accountant and you find out what you need to do,
and then they'll help you
get onto it.
Yeah,
that's good.
Definitely.
There was a lot of kerfuffle about PAYE for businesses rather than provisional tax coming in by 2018.
Yep, a big announcement on it. There's a little couple of tricks in it though that you've got to watch.
Fish hooks?
Yeah, the first one is obviously your turnover's got to be less than 5 million. So for a lot of farmers, that's not an issue. But the bigger one is you've actually got to be running accounting software to go onto this pay-as-you-earn type system. Now, if you're still doing it in a manual cash book or a spreadsheet or whatever, it's not going to work for you. They've said you've got to be running accounting software. The exact criteria around it, we don't know yet, but I'm guessing with the way they're going, it's going to be a fully computerised type package rather than just a spreadsheet.
It should help iron cash flow out, shouldn't it?
Yeah, well, because as you earn the money, that's when you pay your tax. So rather than getting hit 3 times a year with big lump sum payments you've got to try and save for, and especially sometimes when you may not necessarily have the money coming in, it gets pretty tight. This way we'll say if you get 10,000 this month, you'll pay a certain percentage of that to IRD as your provisional tax.
Okay, so do you take all the expenses off before you put that in?
No, it's all based on the turnover. So at the moment there is actually a system out there that you can do it, and based on what they're saying, it's going to operate in the same way. That it's going to be based on a bit of a turnover. So they'll look at your final tax against turnover.
Because at the moment I understand, Kerry, that if you earn more than you budgeted for, you can get a you owe me.
You can do, especially if you're a company. So if you pay your tax as you're supposed to do during the year, but find you make more money, they penalise you for doing well. They say that you should have known way back at the start of the year how much you're going to make and paid extra tax as you went. By going on to this method, they're going to do away with that because you're going to be on top of it. You know exactly what you're making, so that's what you'll pay to IRD, and you should be pretty much squared up at the end of the year.
But your tax deductions aren't part of that.
Well, there's a few little things come through it. There should be, because they've got it. You can't just ignore them.
I mean, that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, they have talked about the fact you've still got to make some tax and accounting adjustments as well. What they are, they haven't put in their press releases or anything like that. So I assume there's going to be calculations like depreciation you've got to factor in. So that's why they're heading down this accounting software route, because it's going to do a lot of the work for you.
So all this fine print is part of your 40 hours every year that you've got to study and prove.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which is guaranteed, isn't it? You've got to do that.
Yeah, we have to do it. Yeah, there's no choice.
40 hours, so you've got to do it a whole week a year.
Yeah. So but it's a good idea they've come up with. They just need a bit more refinement, a bit more information about it, and we'll get that as they go. They've said they'd like to bring it in earlier, but they want to do the GST and PAYE first, get those systems tidied up, and then they'll move on to this as the next step.
So this is all part of the new
of all their transformation process and computer system that they're spending billions on.
Yeah. And when do we find out? I guess as you find out, we'll find out.
Yeah, as time goes by and they look at how they're going to do it, they put it out consultation, get ideas from people. We'll get more and more information released to us.
Well, you just keep us in touch, will you?
Definitely will, yes.
Kerry, thank you very much indeed.